nice.
Well, hello,
Very nice.
everybody.
Hello.
Ah, great. Starting off our spooky month with the Wolfman.
Oh yeah.
How are y'all doing this evening? Here.
Good, good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doing
Glad it's
Doing
well.
well.
October.
Yeah.
Yep. Times of candy corn, circus peanuts.
Yeah.
Ew. Candy corn, yeah. Circus peanuts, no.
Oh, I'm the exact opposite.
Kettle corn.
I'll
Circus
pass on
peanuts
either.
or circus peanuts are where it's at. It's the texture is what I like about them.
Mm.
Of course, I haven't had one in like 25 years, but still, I remember him as a kid.
Yeah, I go after Snickers bars.
Oh, yeah. You have the rich man taste. Okay, yeah.
Yep, yeah, with actual chocolate on it.
Yeah, really. Name brand,
That's-
even.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
the
what I-
brand.
That's what I eat when I start to feel like a werewolf.
It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, you know the Snickers commercials. Man, you're
Oh, yeah.
playing like Betty White.
Yeah.
It's Betty White. Oh,
Yeah,
that's great.
those are good commercials. Yep.
So, let's say hello to the chat real quick. I think we only got, Stephen. We got Stephen in here.
What do you mean
Yeah.
only Steven? We're featuring Steven.
Yeah, Stephen. He's the chat guy. Yeah. So, Wolfman. Blair, since you have the moon behind you, how many times have you seen this movie?
Oh, I can't. I've lost count over the years. I mean, I grew up watching all the Universal horror movies on TV. You know, every October I'd roll around, or my local PBS station on Fridays would do like a whole slew of monster movies too. So if it wasn't on PBS or some independent channel or some Halloween special, you know, I've literally lost count. I own the Blu-ray and all the DVDs of all the Wolfman movies, and you know I've seen the remakes. I have a ton of werewolf movies saved, so I literally but this is like the OG werewolf, you know.
Yeah.
So, here's a question for everybody: vampires or werewolves? Which one?
Werewolf.
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 Yeah.
I always wanted to be a werewolf.
Here's another observation, right? Normally, okay, so you see like vampires are more sexy, I guess as you would call it for men. But recently, a lot of women vampires, like the Underworld series or whatever, you don't really associate women with werewolves, like they are werewolves. You know what I mean? You almost
Yeah.
never see that. Where like there's a main character that's a female werewolf. I think that's because the wolf man thing is more of like a kind of attuned to more like the male experience, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then like you see the Howling,
hmm
the head
Yeah.
werewolves, and that were women.
Right. But I'm just saying it's for the most point.
But you're
yeah.
right. It's always been a guy thing, and there might be like a side chick who's a werewolf, but it's usually
Yeah.
like a wolf pack of guys, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can see that kind of thematically with like, especially back in the day, trying to be an upright citizen and like got this burning anger inside of you that you
Mhm.
just can't
Right.
let out.
hmm Yeah, it's just a thing that I notice.
Well, you know, even in vampire or classic vampire movies like Dracula, the women vampires are subservient, and it's like
Yeah.
when
They're afterthought
Dracula.
types.
yeah,
But the brides of Dracula are, he had a daughter. Hey, you're around me. That movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always been, you know, mostly guy centric.
yeah,
Right. Also, vampire books are way more popular with women than werewolf books.
That's true. I could totally see
Yeah.
that.
So, but yeah, I think as a guy, I can.
really the only vampire movies I like are Blade and Blade 2. Those
Mhm.
two
That's a
are
good.
probably my favorite.
Yeah.
And there's
But
no wimpy male vampire dudes. You know, they're
Right.
pretty
Right.
vicious vampires.
But yeah, I think as a guy, I can identify more with like what being a werewolf would be being a werewolf, you know, than a vampire. As
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And me personally, excepting the top of my head, I'm already mostly covered in fur anyway. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, for some people wouldn't be able to stretch.
When you
I
got
mean, if I
hair-
transformed into a werewolf, he'd still be bald for some reason.
Yeah.
yeah.
This big
Yeah,
old dog with a skull cap, just bare running around in the woods.
When you got hair in places monkeys don't, then you know that you're that you're the set up to
Got
be
a
a
little
werewolf.
vampire, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Yes.
raccoons, there's a raccoon outside.
Oh, they're coming out for you, Jacob.
Yep, they're coming.
It's a were raccoon. It's
A were-raccoon. That's another
Were-coon.
thing that
A raccoon.
that I was thinking about, when I was younger playing D&D or whatever. Like, what would be the most useless were creature? Like a were platypus.
A were-rabbit.
I've got lycanthropy. I'm gonna turn into a were koala.
I don't know,
Or-
Jake.
or
in a tree.
A were-rabbit.
Were-turtle.
Have you seen Monty Python?
Oh
Yeah, that was.
oh yeah.
that was
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah.
So we get you.
Also, can avians get lycanthropy? Can you be like a were ostrich or something?
Oh,
I
sure.
don't know. Probably.
Turn to
It's really long. It was just a thought that I had, and when you get this is
somebody needs to make a movie. Were ostrich.
this is stuff you think about when you're like 16 years old, hanging out with your friends.
Yeah.
Were pelican.
Yep.
Like,
Oh, look
people
at
like their skulls in there.
Steven got it right here. Were sloth.
There you go.
It's coming to get you very slowly.
What's up, Cannoli?
Oh wait, hey, what's up, Cannoli? How's it going?
Hey, cannoli.
Cannoli, hey, Cannoli.
Oh yeah, and
Werewolves.
Steven has a good point here. Wellworth and the Hawk are the same. Hulk are the same sentiment. Rage against society. Yeah.
And werewolves, they always come up, even when they're human, they always have some kind of like animal instinct. They always act like a beast,
Right.
So it's kind of a.
Right.
I did read one book series where the werewolves were very suave and sophisticated and even better than people.
Mm.
But every other kind of trope of werewolves is, the beast.
Right. And you have no control over changing, and you don't remember anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what were you saying before, Jacob? That the very first werewolf movie put on film was in 1925.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Called Wolf Blood, I think.
That's actually a good name for a movie,
Yeah.
especially
even
for
if-
1925.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like a 1925 movie.
I think in the 30s, then they do the Werewolf of London.
They did. That was Lon
Mhm.
Chaney's first werewolf outing.
Yeah.
And then he did this one.
No, he wasn't in that one. It was another guy. It was a British actor.
Wait. Is it what's the other guy's name? He's in this movie. Claude Rains, maybe, was in that one.
Let me check.
Yeah.
That came out in the 30s.
35.
Yeah, the 30s had look at King Kong, how good that movie was for its day, with the special effects and just
Yeah.
everything. I also like
That was Henry Hall was the name of the actor in that one. But he does kind of a Claude Rains look to him. So
Okay, yeah, might have been a little confused. So this movie is 70 minutes runtime.
perfect length.
Yes, perfect length. We were talking about that backstage, where nowadays they pad it with all kinds of nonsense, and they're like touching themselves. Look at how great we are as writers and special effects people, but the story is not. You're just sitting in a theater going, man, when is this going to end? And then you're already looking at, I could have cut that. I could have cut that. I could have cut that.
Yeah.
Slaughterhouse.
6.
Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
And this and the Frankenstein movies always had that very classic background of misty woods
Yeah.
Mhm.
and the back, Like this, these are all fake trees. This is all a set. They
Yeah,
made.
yeah.
Yeah, for shooting inside of a studio, it make it look really nice.
So
Yeah.
you know what was crazy is you always see these old movies and stuff about England and the Moors and the Moors
Mhm.
of Scotland and all this and how it's foggy all the time and misty. And in America, I'd be like when I live in different places, I'd see fog like maybe once a year. But
Uh-huh.
when I lived in England, like no kidding, you would be driving through like the countryside, and you would go down this hill into like it'd be like a little dip that would come out, and it would just be like mist in there, just like this, like literally mist. You'd see it rising off the ground, and I was like, okay, so it's real. It's not just a trope because I never saw it anywhere else. Maybe if you go to New England in America, you might see stuff like that, but it was
Yeah.
crazy to actually
Wow.
see that. And you can see, I get where this, I'm driving back home from work at night and I see that. And
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah, there could be like werewolves and stuff out there, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this came. So during World War II, there was a big monster movie expense because of the war.
Mm-hmm.
Horror movies, for some reason, sold. So that's when, because you had Dracula and Frankenstein and the original Mummy were all in the 30s, and the Werewolf of London. Well, then in the 40s, during the war years, they all came back. You had Castle, Frankenstein. You had, all the Mummy movies and all the other, all like the remakes and the monster mashups and stuff happened here. Between here, I think, in 46. This is kind of like the peak of Universal monsters with, the Creature coming in the 50s, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is all about the Wolfman and Frankenstein and Dracula and all that.
What was interesting about this movie is I watched it today and I looked at it. It released on the 9th of December, 1941. That would be like releasing a movie 2 days after 9/11. Like, I'm wondering how it made any money.
Wow.
Like, did people go see this? It came out in England on the 12th of December, 1941. But by that point, you got to remember, 1st of September, 1939, England was at war already. Well, the 2nd or 3rd, I think, is when they declared. So they'd already been at war over 2 years. The Blitz had already happened.
Mhm.
London was bombed, all that kind of stuff. So first off, I don't even know how they got it over to them. They had to send it across on an airplane or something,
Oh, yeah.
or on a ship that had to pass wolf packs of German
Uh-huh.
submarines to get there. So I think the escapism that movies provide can't be understated in times of crisis or
Yes,
things are
exactly.
happening, and so I think that's what a lot of people are craving today from shows, and that's why we're so pissed when a show sucks. Is that it's not the escapism that we crave,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look at this.
I love this projection background.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Somebody's probably just out of frame rocking the car, when
Uh-huh.
it turns.
Yeah.
It's funny because the background's flying by like, they're
Yeah.
driving that car.
So the movie is set in Wales,
Yep.
in the United Kingdom, and so this is the passenger is Lon Chaney, and he is the son of the Lord of this castle.
In the original draft, he wasn't.
Mhm.
So there's a thing here where they talk about this telescope. The son comes back to America and he's installing a telescope. That was the original plot. He was an American installing a telescope for this Welsh aristocrat, and then becomes.
That would have
and
made
then-
100 times more sense
yeah.
than what he got here.
My dad.
He doesn't even have a
Claude
British
Rains.
accent. He's
Claude
Rains.
Rains.
Yeah.
Is 9 years older than Lon Chaney.
Yeah. And he's a misfit compared to him. He's like now if he says his adopted son, okay. But yeah, for some reason they changed it so that he would be his son.
How would you adopt somebody 9 years older than you?
I don't know. It was Europe in the 30s. Questions are not asked. What's that football player who's been going through a legal thing? The Blind Side.
Oh yeah.
They tried to adopt him when 18, they couldn't, so they became like conservators. Maybe that's what the situation like here is.
Yeah.
That's his ward.
So
The boy toy.
the guy on
We
the
know what's
left
going on.
is so the middle guy is the Lord of the Castle. The guy on the left is his son, who just came back from 18 years in America. And the
Uh-huh.
guy on the right is the chief, is Captain, I can't remember his name. He's the police inspector. The guy on the left and the guy on the right both have American accents, and they don't even attempt to have a British accent whatsoever. What this dude?
The girl,
that's right.
the girl has an American accent too.
Who?
Nobody has an accent except for the
yeah.
girl.
No. You can tell exactly who the British and Irish actors are
right.
in this show. They have legit accents. This Claude Rains is the shorter guy. He's the Lord of the Castle.
And that guy, the police chief, he was in Trading Places. Isn't he like Ralph Bellamy? Is his name? He played one of the two brothers.
Yeah, I think so. I had the
Ralph Bellamy. Yeah,
I had the X-ray
he
thing
was.
up so you could like look at who was in each scene, but my memory's bad, so I can't remember. But now I don't know if this was intended to be like exactly modern day, like because they never mentioned the war or anything like that in the whole movie. So I don't think it's supposed to be contemporary to the like when the movie came out. But
They kept all that vague.
Right, it is, but it isn't. So it's
exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Even the Frankenstein movie was, they were, they had electricity and cars and stuff, but they were not quite really the 30s. It's kind of like a fantasy land,
Yeah.
Wait,
So his brother, he's the younger of two brothers.
Mm-hmm.
He came back because his brother died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they're like twins, I guess. I'm like, dude, where do these kids? Was your wife faithful? I'm just saying, they don't look like you. They're bigger than you are.
It's weird that my sons look just like the stable guy.
Yeah, right.
Weird.
Yeah. Why do my three sons look like the milkman, the postman, and the gardener?
And of course, Claude Rains was the original Invisible Man.
Yeah. That's next week.
All these horror people always appear together.
I mean, wasn't
in
this
other
back when
movies.
Hollywood kind of had exclusivity contracts with people where they paid them like a flat rate and put them in as many things as possible?
Yeah, they signed they signed contracts. They would also trade them between studios.
They blend them out.
Yeah. Yep.
You would see that in credits by special arrangement by MGM or something when one of their big stars came out to another movie. Yeah, the movie studio system, they called it.
Yeah, the beginning of this is a pretty slow burn, which I actually don't mind because the shorter run time, it gives it time to ramp up slowly and kind of build tension.
Yeah, even the slow burn is not slow by today's standards. It kind of like by today's standards that cruise along, but yeah, it really sets up people. You get the family dynamic. You find out about the older brother. He gets his love interest. There's a story before we get into it that really fleshes this thing out and makes it a lot better.
So, Larry, the tall guy here, he's in California. He's been an optical engineer working for a company. Mm-hmm. So that's why he brought this back for his father, who's into astronomy and whatever. And so he's like an engineer. He knows how to do mechanical things, electrical things, optical things.
So now Dad can perv on the people of the town.
Right, yeah, this right here is going to get this guy Me Too'd, and this would be a no-go in today's. You couldn't make the movie today, at least not this scene anyway.
This whole thing right here.
Let's test this out. Look, he's only looking at a moon and some dangly bits at the earrings.
Maybe this part would be okay. It's what he does with the information that is no good.
Yeah,
that's true.
That was
it's where he goes full on stalker mode.
That would be a little creepy if you weren't Me Too. It would still be creepy.
Yeah.
Now, this actress here, her husband was one of the two main actors in Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
And there's a little story here. So Lon Chaney Jr. had alcoholism throughout his life, and it eventually killed him in the 60s, I believe. During this time period, when he was on set, he had a friend, and what they would do in his private area, whatever, they would drink and wrestle and just tear the dressing room apart. I mean, smash furniture, windows, everything. These people just fought.
wow.
Well, the studio hated it and they wanted to stop it, but they couldn't because he was the star. So what they did was they blamed it on his new co-star here, Evelyn Akers, I think her name is, saying that she, complained about all the roughhousing, the noise, and all that. So they made him stop. And he, the second day of shooting, came up to her and said, "That's a very dirty trick you did." He didn't like her. So there's a lot of animosity on this movie. But then years later, he came up and apologized for his behavior. But it's so funny that, they're playing these scenes where he's trying to quarter himself. And in reality, he just wants a decker because he does not like this woman.
Well, it is the 1940s. I don't know. The way people think about those times these days, I don't see much of a difference.
Yeah.
But it was, again, you have to watch these movies with the mindset of the time that they were made in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's getting the ring of the earrings, and he's like, do you have anything with the moon and little dangly bits hanging down? He's like, I'm afraid we're out of that. And he's like, well, there's some up in your room. It's like,
Yeah, she sure takes that well whenever he just blurts that
right.
out.
Yeah. Red flag's going off right now.
Yeah. Father?
Yeah, right. Really
Yeah, she'd be calling for her father right about now.
pulling out a semi-automatic from underneath the counter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We also
Or at
have
least
vintage
some pepper
weapons.
spray.
See? Yeah.
He's just.
Oh, here comes the best
Oh, yeah,
speaking handle
he's
of all
the
time.
Ladies. He's a bit awkward with the ladies.
Gee, I wonder why. He's got the Hunter J suave,
Yeah.
Yeah, nowadays he'd be reported to HR.
Totally.
Yep. He looked at me funny.
Big old cane, use it like a golf club.
Yeah.
He's just trying, and she is
And of
not
course
having any of it.
He picks the wolf with the sign of the wolf on it.
And silver, too.
Yes.
Yeah, and silver.
Foreshadowing. Hey, Zax.
Sub-Zax.
It does look really good for black and white. It looks really beautiful. The light and dark contrasts.
Yeah.
There was something special about those 40s black and white movies that really were, they really look great.
Well, I mean, they really had to use their light and shadow to enhance it because they didn't have color. So,
And he's like, I would really like to whack you with this cane.
Whoa! Whoa! Down, boy.
yeah. Hey, what's up, Zax? We're talking about how this guy would be going to HR right now. The way he's
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How he's talking to her, and yeah.
Pervert on her. 1940s courtships were not pretty by today's standards.
There's the phrase, don't take no for an answer, but he is really taking multiple no's and completely ignoring them.
Yeah, but she's
Take the L and move on, Betty. Come on.
she's rejecting him, but you'll see later.
Yeah, I know.
The reality of how things work.
I don't think I've hit a public domain movie yet, Sax.
No, these are still owned,
Yeah.
especially the Universal Monster movie ones.
So she like tells him the whole, when even a man that says his prayers will turn into a wolf when the wolfbane blooms.
Yeah,
Whole
it's
thing.
even a
Corey.
man who is pure
Hey,
in
Corey.
heart and says his prayers by night may
Right.
become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright.
Right.
In case you forget that, the movie recites that poem like 20
Yeah, like
times.
Yeah,
three times.
they really want to hit that home.
Yeah.
You'll hear this again and again.
In case you didn't know this was about a werewolf, just in case.
Just
Yeah,
in
right,
case.
really. Yeah, the
And
title and everything else.
And let's just be honest in spoilers that he's going to be a werewolf. He's not exactly pure of heart or saying his prayers by night. I never got that from him.
He's a bit of a
No.
dog, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Well, he's interested in her, but he's not like trying to woo like 20 women at once or anything.
Yeah.
That's
You know what I
true. He's, oh, here comes the
Here comes
stereotypical
the gypsy.
people. Oh, that's a bad word. We can't say that.
The Romani.
I think they hate
There
that
you
too.
go.
I don't even know what they call
they?
them. Travelers or something.
I don't know.
Tinkers.
For the sakes of this show, in the movie, they're referred to as gypsies.
Yes. We all know what they are.
There's like, oh, gypsies, we should go get our fortune told sometime. And she's like, no.
See? Just wait,
No.
people. He says no, like 3-4 times. But she winds up going out with
But
him anyway.
she doesn't fall for him until he's a werewolf.
And then he gets that extra,
Yeah, a little extra.
je ne sais quoi about him. That,
Oh, and here we go. We get the same quote about the wolfbane again.
like a local legend. He tells him.
And that
Of
is a
course.
short desk.
Well, he's a pretty short guy, so
I was
Yeah.
about to say, yeah.
Yeah, Zach,
That's
exactly.
true.
At least she had no misunderstanding about what his intentions were.
That is
He wasn't
actually
trying to be a nice guy.
a bad shot there of the desk. I mean, it's got legs on it, and
Oh, it does make it look
most
shorter
of
than
them
it actually is.
are hidden, so it looks like the
Yeah.
desk is like a midget's desk.
yeah, it's kind of weird. Everything's made to scale to him because he's rich. So
Yeah.
That's got to be one heavy cane. Let's just be honest.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah,
I mean,
probably think it was
Even if
solid
it's
metal
just-
too.
even if it's just wood underneath it with a silver over it, that'd be heavy.
That's right.
Yeah, you could like crack a skull with that thing because they didn't have like plastics and they had aluminum, but they weren't using it for that.
Yeah.
I wonder how many props they made of that thing.
They weren't really throwing it around too much. They probably just had the hero prop.
Yeah,
I don't know. They spent a decent amount of money for the time on this, so they probably had a couple backups.
yeah.
To be
yeah.
fair, too, canes for gentlemen. I mean, they were made to defend yourself with if you had to.
Yeah.
I mean, they have that heavy top on it,
yeah,
whack somebody with.
where you pull out the little sword from it. That was
And she like goes out. Was he supposed to come? It's like, oh, come on. You're already expecting him to come pick you up on a date. It's like,
Well, he did bluntly
Did
say
you
that he
say
was just
no?
going to be there anyway.
Right. And look at what she's wearing. Look at how, you know what I mean? Nowadays, half her hair would be shaved with purple in it.
nose ring.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going
Tattoos.
to go ahead and put this out there, and I do not think that anybody disagrees. She's a gorgeous woman.
Oh yeah, she's classic beauty.
Oh, yeah.
mhm.
And all the men wore hats back then.
Yep.
Actually, women too. A lot of women wore hats when they went out.
I do like this turn. He's like, "Oh, we're ready to go on our date," and just like somebody who's kind of like playing with your emotions. Like, I actually just invited my friend, but if you want to tag along,
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
Here's my witness that I, got home alive.
Yeah. It's just like, hey, let's go walking out in the mist. Ooh.
All
Yeah,
the
right.
shots look great.
Yes, they do. They really did a lot of great scenery work on these.
Yeah, I don't think they did any outdoor shots at all. All of this was on set.
No, yeah.
The entire
Yeah.
movie.
Yep.
And we get the quote again about the wolf's bane, and she actually picks the flower.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dun, dun, dun.
When she picked that, my thought was, "Ooh, she can make potions." Like and pick wolf's bane. Because in every video
put
game,
some points
you pick
into
wolf's
alchemy.
bane. Yeah, exactly. To make potions with something.
She's a witch.
Burn her, burn her.
But here he is, Bela
So-
Lugosi.
I was about to say Bela
The man.
Lugosi.
Now, here's the thing about this. Bela was, the original Count Dracula. He played Frankenstein. Larry Talbot, or Lon Chaney Jr., plays the Wolfman. He plays the Mummy after Karloff in the 40s. He plays Frankenstein after Karloff. But he always talks about how he's like, and then he plays Dracula. He plays the son of Dracula. He plays Count Aculard in one of them. So he plays all the monster movies except the creature from Black Lagoon. People forget Bela here. Spoilers. He's the first Wolfman.
Oh.
Because he is the wolf that bites Talbot. I mean, he becomes Wolfman. It's just that when he's in wolf form, he's in a full dog thing.
And when you say dog, it is literally a dog. I was like,
Yeah,
that's
like-
not scary at all.
It's actually Lon Chaney Jr.'s own pet German Shepherd.
Yeah,
It's
so
a
I'm saying it looked
change.
like it just wanted some pets or something.
Yeah. He died in black. And that's how,
They actually took the trouble of dying in black.
they dyed him.
Couldn't find a black
Wow.
dog. Yes, come on.
I guess it's cheaper,
Yeah, definitely.
You didn't have to pay extra for it, so.
Put shoe polish all over it or something.
Yep. Yeah, Bela Lugosi was the first. Was the original OG Wolfman. Just for a second, but
Oh, somebody's got a werewolf at their house.
yeah,
In the background.
we're under attack here.
So he actually gets a vision of something here. I don't know if it's his vision or what.
Well, he's doing the cards, and he sees that she is
She's marked.
she's
as the
marked.
victim.
Well, first off,
Well,
she has
first-
the wolf's bane, right? So that's already upsetting
Yeah.
him because the wolf part of him doesn't like it. It's called wolf's bane for a reason. Is it's
Yeah.
supposed to repel werewolves and wolves? I
So they're
guess.
like, hey, let's go walk in the dark. It'll be fun.
Oh yeah. She's like listening in, and he's like, "Hey, are we gonna eavesdrop, or are we gonna, go get that HR charge around the back way?"
There's no HR in the middle of the woods. Come on.
It's an incident after the fact that gets reported.
Yeah, he wants
Yeah.
to be not only Me Too but times up as well.
He's a man way ahead of his time. Oh, up against the tree. There we go.
Yep. His persistence is working.
Yeah.
He's
That's because he's got that hat on.
Make sure to get that star in the shot. On his paint.
Yep. Paid a lot of money for this prop. It's going to be in everything.
So when he sees that she's marked, he knows that he's going to be the one that does it. That's why he takes off
Well-
running, right?
Right. If you are the werewolf,
Well,
you will
look
see
right
a
here, too.
pentagram on the palm, one of the
Of your
palms of your
victims.
next victim,
Yeah.
and there's nothing you can
And
do to
he's-
stop it. Really,
He's
except
got
maybe-
one on his temple there.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's I noticed
So-
that.
Yeah, when you
guess that's
become the
where he got
werewolf,
injured
you
or
have
something.
a
bit.
star mark somewhere on your body.
So Harry Potter was a werewolf this entire time.
Now his was
Yes.
an N, so make with that what you will. I'd say with the glasses, he's marked as a nerd.
Where's
Yeah,
the-
he's Oh, there it is.
And so that's like a bat signal thing they
Yeah.
just signed on there.
So, I can't remember how it moves in the film. Is that a double exposure? I assume it would be.
Yeah.
I thought it was
It's-
just her hand, and they like literally shined a light on it
It does
with
kind of
the-
look
or
like
something.
that.
with
Yeah.
It does look like
yeah,
it's a little bit
something
of a
blocking
shadow.
it out. Yeah,
and
And
with
I mean-
the werewolf signal, you get this.
Yeah.
He's hearing in his head right now.
Yeah.
And
He's like,
he gets all rude and like, you need to leave.
leave now. Go
but
home.
she's like, "What did you see? Tell me, please." And he's like, "I can't do this right now. You need to come back tomorrow." And she's like, "Did you see something evil?" And he's like, "No, just I can't do this right now. Come back tomorrow." Because
I
he
can't
knows,
imagine
you know, he's
seeing
going to be
any-
like eating her later.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
imagine a
to me,
fortune
that's
teller
not-
having that reaction and me not being worried.
Yeah, right, really.
Where's my silver gun? Garlic? Steak?
I mean, she has no idea anything about werewolves. She just thinks that it's like something bad for, you know, the cards were bad. Because he's
Yeah.
like, "Ooh, the cards don't look good." And then she's like, "What is it?" And he's like, "Let me see your hands." And that's when he sees that mark and he's like, "All right, I'm out of here." And then I guess the old lady there is smelting something. Or she
I
has
don't know.
like bellows and a
She's working on her
yeah,
blacksmith
yeah,
skills.
Yeah, blacksmith.
Leveling
skill.
up.
Yeah.
So they hear her scream, I get here. And he goes running and fights his German
Yeah,
Shepherd.
this was.
I mean, that's totally a German Shepherd. Look at that.
It is. And look, its ears aren't back or anything. It just looks like it wants a snack or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It's plain.
yeah,
Peanut
exactly.
butter.
Yep. And look how fat it is. It's a well-fed
Well,
dog. I'm like,
It's a
it
fat
doesn't
werewolf.
look scary at all, is what I mean. It looks,
No.
you know, like you just want to pet it.
So he goes.
But it's
up there
weird how so this werewolf is a dog. He turns into like, you know, the man wolf
Yeah, right.
version.
yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
Maybe that's further along in the curse.
maybe
Yeah,
go
yeah.
wolf,
I think
wolf.
you might have to,
be
like,
around a while.
yeah, you keep changing and changing, and every time you change, you become more dog-like or wolf-like or whatever.
And he's
Makes
got
sense.
peanut
Makes sense.
butter on his fingers. Like,
Yeah.
oh, peanut butter.
Yep.
I wrestle with my dog like that.
And then he beats his dog to death.
So
Where was PETA? Huh?
he uses. This
No
is back when
werewolves
they
were
would
harmed in the
actually
making of this movie.
harm
Horse,
animals
yes.
when they made a movie. They just would like, oh, we got to kill a chicken in this scene. All right, let's do it.
No problem.
They'd literally kill a chicken in the scene.
I
Oh,
mean,
the horses broke a
in
leg.
these old
Yeah,
movies
well,
too, in a cowboy movie where you see a horse flip, that's actually a horse flipping. They tied a
Yeah.
rope to its foot and yanked it and made
Yeah.
it fall over.
So for werewolves, you canonically how you have to kill them is with silver. I mean, if you play role playing games, fire will do it because then they can't regenerate.
Right.
But usually it's silver is how you have to
Mhm.
kill them.
And it's usually a bullet too. I
well,
don't even think
a
you could
bullet is
hit
just
him over the
more-
head with a silver.
Pre-firearms, if you had a silver dagger or silver weapon of some
Yeah.
kind, any
Mhm.
kind of silver would work. I guess you could put a bunch of silver dollars in a shotgun
that'd work.
Yeah.
and shoot them with it.
Here's some coin. Ha.
Pre 1966 silver coin or coins, you know, have a higher
Yeah.
silver content. That might do a bit of
Yeah.
damage to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So
the
he's
head of
pretty.
this,
I
of
guess
his
he's
walking
pretty
stick
bad
is silver.
injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like bit him in the chest.
Yeah.
You know, where dogs are and wolves are famously prone to attack you.
But yeah, the
Yeah, right.
Yeah, bite you in the
Right in
chest.
the nipple
So
area.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go for the nipple.
Chesticles. That's what they go for.
Yeah.
Well, here she comes creeping along her little death cart.
Yeah. That's the other thing is the old woman, the mystic. she just shows up all the time, like at the right moment, and no one else sees her. Just kind of appears.
And then she she talks to the other part of the cure too about something about
that part.
may you walk funny, or I can't remember the part she does, but she does like this kind of like this poem thing she sings, and it's
She says you walk with thorns, but not by your own choice, or something like that.
yeah.
And then as rain flows into the ground, and then water flows into a river that flows into the ocean, so shall your soul, or something like that.
Yeah, kind of like her prayer.
Yeah, and then whatever she does that, if you're in werewolf form, it'll bring you back to human form.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
Roman.
can never be 100% Roman because nothing grows up here, even if I transform.
Yeah, you just have a little.
We talked about that. If we became werewolves, we'd be like these weird bald werewolves. So
Nobody would be intimidated by us.
no, it'd be like, get out of here.
That's a werewolf. Wait. Are you a bald werewolf?
Oh, poor thing. You've got mange. Come here.
Yeah, you'd be a service werewolf. So
Yeah.
Oh God.
Wear a little harness.
Yeah.
Wear a little poop diaper on it. Yeah, great.
This is my what is it? Comfort werewolf. You know?
Yeah.
Yep. So this guy comes in and says there's a dead guy or dead person.
It's been a murder.
That
Two
Gwen
dead
has
people.
is that her name, or Penny or something? Jenny's dead.
This is
She's dead either way. So
Well, he's the one that reports her death. The old woman and Gwen bring Larry back to the castle, and he's all hurt and stuff. And then, so they find her dead, and then
yeah, and it's a little weird because they're all like right here, and like somebody says over here, and it's like the other side.
Literally
of the tree.
the other side of the tree.
I mean,
But because he's
A
a
little
doctor, he's
further.
like, oh, she's been killed by a wild animal. It like ripped her throat out or something, and which is what happened.
yeah.
true. I like all the locals have got those hats on, like those Hannah hats or
yeah.
Page Boys. I got
And
those hats.
the inspector who was in that previous scene, and then you got the guy, and he's like, take this down. So that's like their little stick. He's every time he sees something, he's like, write this down.
Yeah.
And then they find his name is Bella. He's the
Gypsy
fortune
guy.
teller. Yeah, he's the fortune teller, and he's been beat to death.
They just downright pan over to the opposite side of the tree. I mean,
Yeah.
they could have cut to that side of the tree, and it wouldn't have been so weird. But it just
It's
Oh,
dark.
over here.
It's
the
darker
body
than
on
what
the other
we
side of the
see.
tree.
Yeah.
So they're like, he's been beat to death with a stick of some kind, and he's got no shoes on.
Yeah, got dirt all over his feet. Did they say his feet were burned?
No,
Dirty.
No?
dirty.
Or
Dirty.
Had
Okay.
mud or something on him.
yeah, like he would walk around
Quite.
barefoot. Which, totally tracks. Well, it doesn't because it's a wolf attack, but yet there's a guy beaten to death.
Yeah.
And Larry keeps telling him, I beat a wolf. I tell you, I beat a wolf. And there's his stick.
Yeah, they got the murder weapon right there.
So then they kind of do this weird thing where it's kind of like, well, he's just a gypsy, so whatever,
Yeah.
Yep. Give him the
Yeah,
old
it's
heave
just a
ho.
gypsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think we can, safely say that.
Well, that was how things were back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then he wakes up the next day and he's like, oh, I've had the best sleep of my life.
I feel fantastic. My genetic code is not being rewritten at all
No.
by some wolf virus thing. No, yeah.
It's like they just barged right into his bedroom.
I know,
Well,
right?
they probably didn't expect him to be able to get up as rough as he
Right. They
looked
thought he
coming
was
in.
going to be hurt, and he's like, "Oh, I feel fine. I'm great." And then they're like, "What about that wolf bite that you got?" And he's like, "Oh, it must have healed overnight." And these guys were
Like-
like, "Say what?" And this
Yes.
dude's like, "Hey, is this your cane?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure is."
Sure is.
Yep. He's
I
like,
don't need a
Is
wonder,
this
right?
Is this your cane with blood on it? Oh yeah, that
That-
is.
"Yeah."
Where'd you find it?
Next to the dead guy. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And that's what he's like, "No, I'm telling you, I killed a wolf.
Yeah.
See, it bit me on the chest, and nope, it's healed.
No.
But in its place, it left a star." Mark.
Yeah.
And
Dun,
I
dun,
did.
dun.
I did have the thought that at the beginning, we were told in the text that there was a small town that, rumors say they still have encounters with werewolves. So I would think that if somebody from that town saw a star on a guy like that, he
Like,
might think, "Oh, what's up with this dude? Is he going to change?" Of course, that
Yeah.
changed the entire story overall.
Well, the
but-
other thing is for the gypsy, it was under his hair, and people back then probably weren't like hanging out with him and looking
Yeah.
at him too closely. And then this guy, it's on his chest, so he'd have to be walking around like with his shirt off or something.
Well, I mean, but right there, he just flashed his chest to both of those dudes to show off the wound that wasn't there.
Right. I don't know if
Yeah. They're not peasants. They're
Ah.
they don't
Right.
believe in those peasant tales.
exactly.
They're sophisticated men,
Yes.
Yes.
Modern men of science.
and they just hand over the murder weapon.
Yep.
Here you go.
We cleaned it.
We don't
Thanks
need
for
this
cleaning
anymore.
it. guys.
We cleaned it.
Yeah. This brain on this guy? Oh man, come on. Here they're all in a
I
about the
wanna
story.
say in the 40s, the only thing they could do was determine blood type.
Yeah,
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
they could have.
They could do fingerprints. They could maybe do hair analysis under a microscope.
it's still
That
a
might
little
have been a
weird
thing,
to
but-
suspect somebody of killing a guy and then say, "Here's the thing you killed him with.
Mhm.
Just please don't kill somebody else with it."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch where you swing this thing, fella.
This is probably
This is all sets.
this is all set. Yeah.
They really knew how to make a set back in those days.
Looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Even the outside, you could tell it was like a model or miniature when they first came up to it.
See, I thought it was a model too, but I'm pretty certain it was all matte painting.
It could have been, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there may have
It
been a
wasn't
model.
real, but
Yeah, there may have been a model house, but everything around it definitely was matte because it slid in that very
think-
kind of distinct way as it panned.
I think some of the village footage shot through the telescope might have been B-roll.
yeah, it was.
Like a town or something over there.
Yeah, and he's like, well, he was just a gypsy,
Yeah, this is where this thing came
Kind of
from.
weird.
I'm just saying, probably had it coming.
Okay, this might annoy anybody, some y'all, but it's been bugging me, so I have to get it out there. That dude looks like a younger version of the head doctor on Scrubs. I don't remember the actor's name, and it's driving me nuts. Anyway, move on. It's not worth spending time on.
Zach Branagh? Zach?
No, not the main actor, the head doctor. I'll look it up. It doesn't matter. Y'all continue.
It was one of his ancestors. Yeah.
I'm curious.
I love that jacket he's rocking. What was it, Houndstooth? He really pulls it
Houndstooth,
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody else is in
There you
dark solids, the colors, and he's just,
That's how you rolled
go.
back
Hey,
then.
Gord King.
Yep.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Gord King. You can't be serious. Murray a gypsy is a crime. Everybody's smoking too.
Oh yeah.
You gotta love these
Well,
movies.
It was good for you back then. Open
Yeah.
your airways.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
Good for the lungs.
see, Romans, Dr. Kelso.
So
Yeah.
there's that.
Sorry.
Now, I don't. Maybe this was not that. If that's a set, ooh.
There was a place on Universal they made where they filmed the Frankenstein movies and such. It was called their European set,
Mm,
where they filmed a lot of these.
Yeah,
And the people who made it came from Hungary and Czechoslovakia and Germany, and so it had that vague European look. I think that's where these outside shots are.
oh, you mean the people that built the set were from there? So they.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when they built these outdoor,
Mm,
it's the backlot of Universal back in the day,
right.
and the buildings and such were made in such a way that they had a European feel to them, but you couldn't necessarily place it in any one area.
Right.
So that's why a lot of these Universal, the Frankenstein movies are not specifically set in Germany. And this, they say it's Wales, but it kind of looks like it could be anywhere Europe. So that's why they kept it like that.
I had the X-ray.
And these two
on.
are the town Karens.
Yeah.
Oh,
These are the town Karens here.
I had when I was watching it on Prime, I had the X-ray thing up where it'll show you who's in each scene, and I want to say one of these actresses was born in like 1865.
I believe it.
Yeah. I was like, holy crap!
Yeah, back then you had a lot of people.
Claude Rains was born in 1898.
Mm-hmm.
So he
was only 42 then.
Turn of the century.
43.
Yeah.
Out with the graveyards.
That's even just the wood to make a casket that nice. That'd be pretty heavy for just two dudes, especially with a body inside.
Yeah. Yeah, the casket
I
would be
do have
heavy
to
as
say
hell.
that is a nice coffin for a gypsy.
For somebody that the town people really didn't care much for.
Yeah.
You know what though? But if you watch the movie, people really don't. They're not like trying to drive him out of the town or anything. Matter of fact,
no.
For the funeral, the whole town shows up because it's like a carnival or something. So.
But yeah, I took it more like they saw them kind of like a sideshow.
I thought that was the
right. You get them
funeral for the girl.
It's not like they're like welcoming them with open arms.
I thought that was the funeral for the girl.
Cabbage at them and stuff,
wasn't it?
No,
wasn't that the?
It's not because when he brings us in, this dude's in here, and is this the girl? No, this is he's checking on the guy.
He's checking the guy.
Yeah, to see if he's still a werewolf. This guy comes in and says, "Hey," she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna have a celebration. It's our way of doing it." And he's like, "I don't think you should." And she's like, "Well," and he's like, "Well, getting rid of paganism is kind of like, super hard." And she's like, "Whatever, bro." And he leaves, and and because she's Bella's mother, this character here. And so what she's telling him is, we're going to have a party. We're going to have a celebration. It's something that we do. It's our way. And he's like, I don't agree with it, but okay. So that's why they're having the carnival thing. It's for Bella.
It's like his wake thing.
It's like his wake, right? Yeah. Exactly. And if you watch, the whole town shows up. Pretty much, there's all kinds of people that want to go to it because it's like a carnival. They've got like side show attractions and all kinds of stuff.
And again,
she opens it and says a little prayer or something.
This is where she recites
funny.
Yeah. Right.
I think this lady was a Russian.
She was a
and
Russian
she
actress.
Smoked like nonstop. They said, like cut, light up.
I was almost going to think that she'd be like, "I know you're there."
Yeah, right. Really.
Yeah. You would expect that trope today.
Okay, here it is. It says, "The way you walked was thorny, though no fault of your own. But as the rain enters the soil, the river enters the sea. So tears run to a predestined end. Your suffering is over, Bella, my son. Now you will find peace. And her name is Maleva, is the character's name.
Yeah. I always thought Thorny, the way she said it, I always thought it was funny. The way you walked is funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now it says the way you walked was thorny.
Yeah.
Though through no fault of your own. The actress name is Maria Ospenskaya.
Mm-hmm.
Nailed it.
Yeah, she was in another movie. It's pretty good. I forget what it was.
I think she was pretty popular actress back in the day.
Movie.
She
It
might
was
have
an
been the
early
one that I was
Jimmy
looking up
Stewart
that was
movie.
born in like 1865 or something.
Could be, yeah. She was not young.
1876 for her.
Okay. Yeah. And in Russia? Wow. All right.
Yeah, she's around the czars.
Yeah,
Yep.
my great grandfather was born in 1871, I think. Yeah, I'm just looking up this actress.
This dad, okay, so this is Gwen's dad. He's pretty nonchalant about dudes just showing up at the house wanting to talk to his daughter.
Taking his daughters out,
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah, really.
He's probably like, I just need her out of the house.
She was in another Wolfman movie. Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, 43.
Okay.
So 2 years after this.
She was also in a Jimmy Stewart movie that was pretty good. Can't remember what the name of it was. Oh well. So he goes out here, and the Karens have arrived.
Must speak with the manager.
Mm-hmm.
What are they all in a huff about?
Oh
That-
yeah,
Gypsy party?
they're
no,
up in arms because like, isn't she like supposed to be engaged or whatever? And they're suggesting that like they snuck off in the woods together, and that's why they weren't with her friend when she died.
Right. They're mad that she took Jenny with her and Jenny died because they were out in the woods doing who knows what.
They were playing patty cake.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Patty cake.
Basically, daughter got her killed with her immorality.
Yes, exactly.
So he comes in, is like, you old Betty's.
Look at that face, like, yee!
And he basically tells them, they
Tells them all.
vacate.
Like he's gonna beat somebody else at that club.
I was about to say, it looks like he's about to kick off.
It was kind of the implied threat is why they left.
He's about to play some golf.
Mm-hmm. 4!
So he's like, may I talk to your daughter? Yes. Of course.
Yeah, he's being all apologetic and sorry for getting her involved in all this, and
yeah.
it's kind of weird what he's.
I mean, this is 30 minutes into this movie, and he's still not a werewolf yet.
Yeah, they really hold out on you.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's hard to feel bad for your main character transforming into a werewolf if they transform within 15 minutes of the film starting.
Yeah.
You don't really have time to get to know them.
I was watching this. This antique shop is interesting. It's got a lot of stuff from like the Far East around and older thing. Of course, it's an antique shop, but just
my parents had a clock pretty much just like that.
I think everyone's relative had a clock just like that.
Yeah.
until the rowdy kids knocked it off the shelf and broke it.
Mm-hmm.
My great grandmother had a washing machine that still had rollers on the top of it.
Wow.
Yes, I remember those weird things.
Yeah, squeeze It was how you. They didn't have a spin cycle,
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's how
yeah.
you
Yeah.
got all the excess water out of your clothes.
So here comes the fiance.
Oh, surprise! He's
And
the game warden.
The dog
So he has
barks
this
at him.
dog with him, and the dog's barking at him because he's a werewolf. And
Yeah.
they're like, "Take the dog out of here!" And he's like, "All right."
He works for the father. He's
Right.
like the groundskeeper or
Yeah,
something,
it's a
or
head
hunt master.
gamekeeper.
Yeah.
Gamekeeper.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that got awkward real quick.
Yeah.
but yeah, this dude's like, "Hey,
Been-
what are you
yeah.
doing
been there,
with old
buddy."
Larry up in here?" You know, and she's like, "Oh, nothing's going on," but you can look in her eyes.
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, I'm
Busted.
yeah."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm feeling this situation real. Yeah. I won't go into it. There's
So
a
he
there's a
leaves.
story.
And she's like, "Why were you so rude to him? Of course, you were out walking in the woods with him.
Yep.
That's why
Yeah.
he's mad. Not was rude to him."
So he's like, "Yeah, I got to dip
But
out of here."
he
So
seems to be
leaves.
more freaked out. He seems to be more freaked out over him holding the cane still. You know, which it's part of the movie, but it's still he did kill somebody with it.
Well, I guess word is spreading around town that a guy was killed with that cane, and he's just walking around with it like no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
now
and
they're at the festival for Bella's
Which is-
funeral.
Weird because the guy who killed your son shows up to his wake. Like that wouldn't cause any problems, right? You know.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd be
Yeah,
like,
that's where the plot and some of the through lines in the story are a little they just kind of let it happen and nobody questions anything.
Yeah.
nobody challenges him, tries to beat him up or anything. It's kind of like, okay, hang out with us, or
And you can see the stark difference between the gypsy people and how they're dressed and how they act and how everyone else is. They're very like happy and dancing and stuff, and all of the English women are like very prim and proper and not showing any leg or nothing.
very waspy.
Yeah. But I was like, wait, why do they have a shooting gallery here? Like it's an American boardwalk or something.
Right.
You know?
Gun laws were a little less strict back then, I guess.
Well, it's not that. It's just I don't think that would be something that they would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at a funeral.
Yeah. Well, no, just anywhere over there.
I'm having that at my funeral. A shooting range in the back.
Yeah, right.
Maybe I'm wrong. That's not the impression that I got.
Fire one off for Tony.
I didn't even think of that, but you might be right.
Yeah, it is a little weird.
So they kind of challenge each other to this shooting gallery. And he's doing good until the wolf pops up.
Dun, dun.
No.
Can't do it.
Dun.
That was always like a really cool looking wolf too, for a shooting gallery, even.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I'm gonna cry.
And he's like, so he
It's
misses,
like, I can't-
and then the other guy's
I
like,
can't put the
haha.
wolf down. I don't want to shoot old Yeller.
I got it, old boy. Pow.
I did kind of question what's the backdrop to that shooting gallery made out of, because they weren't using BB guns. They would have been using guns.
Yeah. Well, where did the ball go? Is there a dirt mound behind it that we don't see, or imagine somebody's walked behind the tent and catches one in the head? You know.
That would be like something from The Simpsons. You know, have a shooting gallery and then go out back and there's a bunch of dead people.
Other people like shut up, houses and cars and stuff behind it.
right.
Here's the gypsy.
So
Maybe.
he walks
Oh.
off and he runs into the old lady again.
I've been
My
waiting
son's
for you.
murderer.
Right. She says, I've been waiting for you and you've taken longer than I expected to get here.
Ah.
Man,
This is basically where she lays the
works, too.
cards out.
Yep. She tells him. And he's like,
You're a
BS.
werewolf.
Although he does get his
And
what,
she,
protective amulet or whatever here.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And it's weird. We'll get to it when we get to it. But yeah, you were bitten by a werewolf, and now you are a werewolf.
And don't ask me why I let my werewolf son out on full moon nights
I
Yeah.
forgot
instead
I
of
forgot
locking him
to
in
chain
or
him to his bed.
Yeah, and why I didn't give him this thing that's supposed to prevent you from becoming a werewolf. Why he wasn't wearing it. I don't know.
yeah, don't question it.
He
It is
just
what it
wanted to
is.
howl at the moon.
I didn't think it'd be a problem.
It's like he
So
can
she gives
feel
him
that
that,
it's
and
true, but he still can't accept it.
Yeah, he's really fighting it.
Yeah.
This is just a bunch of malarkey you're selling me.
Sir, don't go around flashing your chest at random women. That you already in enough trouble with
Okay,
HR.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't go to jail.
Roman, we need to put a
You
bell
don't
on
want to
that
go to
boy.
jail for public indecency, okay?
He's a proud trans.
And
Wants
he
to show
keeps
off.
and he also keeps the shirt on. So he keeps the shirt on even as a werewolf.
Yeah, isn't that weird? So if he's a werewolf in his bare chest, he's gonna have like a skin star, or
Would it be like a gorilla's chest, where the
Yeah.
skin still shows?
but he become like a silverback as they get older,
Yeah.
So she says something to one of the women and then they run around and tell all the people and they start just packing up.
There's a werewolf in the camp.
And
yeah,
it's
there's a
not the
werewolf.
one that we knew
Yeah,
that we could prepare for, but we didn't.
It's another one.
this is an unknown werewolf. Not one of us.
Yeah, that's why they were celebrating. They were celebrating a dead werewolf.
Yeah, right. They said they got rid of this. Like, yeah,
Oh no, there's another one.
back it up right here. This one won't follow us. Yeah.
Oh, also, before the shooting match thing, Frank, her fiance, was like, "Oh yeah, there's Larry. Larry saw him and he tried to turn around and get away from him." And Frank was like, "Oh, let's go talk to him. I don't want him to think I'm a poor sport." It's like, dude, what are you just trying to hand your girl over to him?
Yeah, really. Like, yeah. These people are clueless.
Remember that guy she told you not to worry about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, he gives it to her.
Yeah.
Here, take this. It'll protect you.
Not his dad,
Well, he does that because he doesn't really believe that the thing is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't fully accepted it yet.
So why did
And
she
she's
leave?
gone.
I don't get why she runs away.
I mean, she probably just doesn't want to be seen alone with him away from crowds or anything like that again and cause more trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're in enough trouble from the morality police. He's having a little bit of a episode here.
Yeah.
I'm going crazy.
So he runs home.
Starts feeling fidgety.
Wait a second. How did he show
Yeah.
her his bare chest when he's got a wife beater on?
I don't know.
That's a great question.
I don't
I didn't
know.
even think of that.
This is a real low cut one. Nope.
And two,
He might have been able to pull it to the side or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I probably yanked it over.
And then he takes off his socks, and then they just like glue hair to his feet.
he has this blue hair. It's like, oh.
Ah!
somebody glued wool to my legs. Where else?
He just better hope he doesn't have hair on his palms.
Yeah, right, really.
Okay, so now he's starting to believe a little bit.
Oh, here we goes. Yeah.
And keep in mind, he has a wife beater on. So the werewolf puts a shirt on. He's very polite werewolf. He puts his shirt on.
Yeah, he puts on a nice brown shirt.
Well, yeah, it's like he changes into a uniform.
Yeah, my wolf suit.
Pants.
You gotta
on
look
the
your
top
best
are
when you go
black
out
or
terrorizing.
whatever. Yeah.
You don't have bloodstains showing on white. You gotta wear dark colors.
That's right.
I mean, obviously, he did it to make it so only you saw his feet and his head and his
Yeah.
hands. It's cheaper and easier to do. And these crack me up. They're just like weird high-heeled shoes or something they made him wear with fur on the outside.
Yeah. So he can go prancing out in the woods, you know?
Sorry.
True. Here he is running wild in the mist. This is it right here. Boom.
Yeah, they really worked on the lighting to just get his eyes,
Oh,
his
yeah.
face.
He has this weird nose thing. It's like a snout,
like
but not.
A pug's nose or something.
Yeah. Plus, he got the very top button done. How could he have done that with claws? I can barely do that with fingers.
I know.
Yep, I'm out here digging a grave in the middle of
He's
the night.
got a butler. The butler did it.
Yeah. Manservant.
I'm just going to sit out here in the middle of the night. And...
Hope nobody comes up and mutters. Ah! Oh, there he goes.
It's right in for it.
He's dead.
And he got him.
And he's dead.
Bit him in the chest. Werewolves like to bite people in the chest. It's weird.
And then he howls, and then people hear the howl, and they're like opening their windows and stuff. And this guy's the guy with the notebook, and he's like, I gotta go.
At what point did basically the island of Great Britain completely eradicate wolves?
1750s, I think.
Okay, so then that would have definitely been something that took them.
It might have been a little early, but I know it was the 17th century. Let's see.
I figured it was much earlier than this, but I mean, that would be something that would kind of pull people to their windows hearing a animalistic noise that nobody has ever really heard.
Yeah, it would probably freak everybody.
It's lucky that guy was digging a grave. They can just roll him right in.
What?
Yeah,
something like
dug his own grave.
Was it something like this?
You're very proud of that, aren't you, Jake? It's good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think it was
1680, which is still technically the 17th century or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess so. I hate how they do that. But
yeah, it makes no sense. I know.
Yeah.
Look at these weird footprints.
And his chest is bitten. What's with this? This is weird.
Really? What the hell?
I mean, I guess the footprints would be kind of weird if it had toes in the front and a high-heeled point on the back.
Yeah. Like some dude wearing tiptoeing? What's going on? Yeah. And
That's never going to come out of the rug.
Oh, yeah, right.
No.
Blood mud. Nope. Well, this is mud, but In all of these Universal horror movies, they never showed any blood.
Yeah.
You know, Dracula never had any blood, even though he's a vampire. The werewolf is always like just strangling people or alluding to the fact that after when they inspect the body that you can't see, they're tore up to pieces, you know, but you never see anything like that.
You know, I don't watch too many like werewolf movies, but do any of them ever touch on the horrors of when you come back to your human self, realizing that you have human in your stomach?
No, they don't.
No.
But you think they would be, you know?
I want to say I might have seen one or two like that where the guy then throws up or whatever because of that.
I
They
mean,
pick
'cause-
bones out of their mouth. It's like, ew, who's this?
And he's like, who's been using the Sharpie on me? Come on.
Yeah, right. That's what happens.
guys, I know I had one too many beers, but you did this last time. It's not funny anymore.
Yeah, you should
Well,
check and see if they painted his toenails with spray paint.
Plus, that star looks very like generic. Now it'd be like a proper pentagram from like a
Yeah.
Motley Crue album or something, you know. They're all freaking out.
Yeah, so he sees the footprints, but he just rubs them out, I guess. So they don't look like a footprint.
No conversation either about how did I get this shirt on? What?
Yeah.
I don't remember wearing brown last night.
I don't even own a brown shirt.
I know, right? Really? What is going on here?
Yeah, look, he looks like he's wearing an auto mechanic uniform or something.
Yeah, that's his wolf outfit. Just
Yeah.
brown on brown.
He's a UPS driver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Somebody
Yeah, this
trapped
guy,
him.
yeah. He's like, hey, we're looking for a wolf.
You see any wolves around?
Yeah, right, really. Nope.
Preferably one wearing high heels.
Yeah, right, really. Yeah, there you
Maybe
happy to
some
kill anybody
lipstick?
else again, have you? Well, he
Weird,
could
we
get off
found lipstick on the body. Had a,
Yeah, really.
and high heel footprints.
We're looking for a woman, obviously. Larry Talbot, the transvestite killer.
Boy, he cleans up quick.
Yeah, really. Put some of that hair grease in there and just.
Yeah.
Well, now he's accused of beating the guy to death, so somebody winds up mauled and bitten. Well, he's off the hook because that obviously would not have been him.
Obviously.
She's like, you're not a werewolf.
Yeah, he thinks he's been listening to the local legends, and
And they talk about the gypsy woman. He's like, those gypsies have been putting stuff in your head.
now he's saying to himself, "Great, my surviving son is going to carry on the line as a feeble-minded. What am I going to do now?" It's off the asylum to you.
Got to dump on that fatherly disappointment.
Uh-huh.
Now I have
Man
to. Now I have to adopt another kid.
It looks nothing like me.
Maybe I'll go with a Canadian this time as opposed to an American.
Yeah, right, really.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, he never
Steven
did it.
says blood in movies was a chocolate syrup back then in black and white movies. So those footprints could have been just chocolate syrup on the floor.
Melted Hershey's.
I just took it as mud. That it was mud.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
too, but it
Yeah.
probably, yeah. This goes on for quite a while until the constabulary shows up.
He's like, I have to go do something. Don't eat anybody while I'm gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, really.
So they're going to the funeral. That's right.
They're all talking about it.
I mean, can't imagine there would be too many people in that town, so it would definitely spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's talk of a where what is it? Sloth.
It's just funny. This guy shows up from America and people start dying. And look who shows up.
Just like, when you walk into a room and they've been talking about you, everybody shuts up right away.
How well does he do in the House of the Holy?
Does not feel comfortable.
Do a little squirming.
It's like everybody's looking at him too, like, ooh. Oh look, it's the Wolfman.
Oh, look who came to church.
Wolf rumors aside, it's just a killer that has walked into church.
Yeah.
He beat a man to death. He's carrying, does he still have the cane with him? Is he still carrying the murder weapon?
I don't think he has it today, but nope.
Yep. I'm out.
Well. Yeah, look at the size of this footprint too. It's like, and they never mention how big the wolf print is. I mean, that's a big wolf print.
Yeah, they're like, it's just a standard wolf imprint. It's like, dude, that's
and
like
they don't
times the size.
Yeah.
Because a wolf print basically is the size of a dog footprint, pretty much.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bigger, but yeah, it'll be different shaped. But yeah, like a German Shepherd and a wolf, not much difference.
And they don't
like
mention anything that it's on two legs.
Yeah, there's only 2 sets, not 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, they had like their 5th grade class go out and do the plaster.
Roman might be on to something. It's a raccoon print.
Wercoon.
Yeah.
It's a wercoon.
Well, we all know that they're only bipedal around Jacob's house. Because how else can they carry their spears and shields to be part of the raccoon?
I would watch an animated short of Jacob battling raccoons.
Yes.
I'd
As
love
they
it.
come out of the black hole or
fireplace and start popping out of your air vents and your cupboards. Oh, hello, everybody. Are we talking about me?
Oh no, we weren't.
Yeah, look at this dude's rocking like whatever this plaid thing is now.
Yeah,
he's always got the fresh cuts in this one.
He's quite the little fashionista of the town.
The Star Trek combat music.
Oh yeah, I meant to mention earlier on in this the music in this is fantastic. It's over the top. It's overly dramatic. It actually reminded me a lot of. I had to look it up. It reminded me a lot of the Max Fleischer Superman cartoons.
Yes,
That kind of orchestral, just like waves of music just going over everything. And for a while there, I was convinced that it had to be the same composer. It's not, but it's close.
He's
they always had their music scores.
You believe me that I'm a werewolf, right?
Sure, Larry.
Yeah, Larry.
Yeah, we believe that you're just insane.
Yeah, right, really.
Back then, you start prancing around saying you're a werewolf. That's a quick way to get yourself into a straitjacket and tossed in a room and forgotten about.
Oh, we got a furry here.
Yeah, right, really. Get the
Lord.
Time for some nap juice.
Yeah.
It's only his father's position that's keeping him from out of jail and asylum right now.
Yeah.
But it's quickly coming to the point where he's not even going to be able to. I think they're kind of like giving him the gentlemanly way of taking care of it yourself before we have to.
Yeah, I could see that.
So they're setting out traps for the wolf.
These are bear traps. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, that wolf print was the size of a bear paw, so it should, mess around.
Boy, do not want to forget where you place those things.
Yeah, that would hurt.
I forgot. Did we set 50 or 15?
Ow!
We'll find out.
It's kind of like when you hide Easter eggs for your kids, and you put 25 of them out there, and you only found 23,
Okay.
and then you find 27 the next year.
It's funny because they have the same set. They just filmed it from different angles to make it look like it's different parts of the woods.
Yeah.
They did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
That'll make
Here
you
he is
howl.
again. And he steps into the trap here.
He gets all crazy too.
And there must be some silver on that trap too, because it makes him faint or something.
Yeah,
But
he does a lot of struggling.
Then the gypsy lady comes up.
Yeah, she's like cruises up like, she knew.
She's just everywhere.
I think she geo-tracked him or something.
Slipped an air tag into his pocket.
Werewolf tracker
Yep.
on her mobile phone. It's like she says something over him, and then he turns back into a human. So it's like she's got some way to
Yeah, it's
keep
pretty
him from turning or something.
weird that, like she just wouldn't do that all the time to keep him from eating people, but, whatever. It's like good for once a week or something.
You have to wait 24 hours before you can use that power again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a
No,
long
you gotta-
rest.
Yeah. You got to brew the herbs for 5 days, so it's only good for once during the lunar cycle, full moon cycle. But that's a 3-day period, right?
This is kind of funny. He runs into these two guys, and he's like, "Oh, I was just out hunting, barefoot."
Yeah.
Just looking for the wolf. Guys, say anything?
I mean, he almost has that really stereotypical kind of like comedic awkward walk away where he's like awkwardly stiff back and just like, all right, here we go.
Okay, nothing to see here.
Yeah.
I'll see you fellas later.
I wonder if they'll
But, I mean, I
notice
guess with rumors going around that he's losing his mind, they probably just didn't even give it a second thought.
Oh, yeah. He's totally crazy. Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to have like a gag here. He's throwing rocks at the window, and it's the wrong window.
He gets one of the Karens by mistake.
I think it's in one of the Mel Brooks movies, maybe even Robin Hood Men in Tights, where he's like goes to the window and Romeo pops up out of the bushes or something. I almost think that like that's a gag in a movie or something.
I kind of felt
Seen
like
that
this was
before.
like a thing out of Say Anything, where he's gonna have a boombox.
Portable Victrola, cranking the wheel. Oh, it's a
Excuse
crazy
me,
person.
could you stop? What are you doing out there at night? And since when have you gotten a brown shirt? You don't own a brown shirt.
Yeah, really. And what's with this unibrow thing? What's going on here?
You've got bad
Needs a
breath, too.
manscape it. Needs some manscaping.
He's telling her he's got to leave. And
That's not guilty at all, saying I got to split town. After a bunch of people start dying. Yeah, he's like losing his mind, but yet he like can't keep it together to not blurt all this out to the woman he loves that I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
Oh no.
that's not good.
Yep.
Yeah, and by this point in their relationships, he's like, "I'm ready to run away with you. Just let's go. I won't even take anything. Let's just pack a bag and leave."
I only met you a couple days ago. but let's
Exactly.
go.
Yeah, it's been like 48 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how
And,
they
you know,
rolled
this-
back then, I guess.
Town that's never seen a murder in hundreds of years, all of a sudden people are dropping off, Perfect time to run off with a strange man acting funny.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to give credit here. The shirt under his jacket is a dark color shirt for once.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
finally incorporated it.
I'll stop making my brown shirt joke.
So
As
he
far
does
as,
own
like,
one.
Where did you get that brown shirt? I didn't know you had it.
Really?
We're a white shirt family. Go upstairs and change.
Right, really. What is this? What are you wearing, son?
No son of mine will go out dressed like that. Go upstairs and change right this instant.
We are nobility in this area.
We're not in America. You're not in America anymore.
That's right. These are not British values you're bringing to this home.
So we're making jokes that they're trying to have a heart to
Yeah.
heart where dad thinks his son is crazy and
Yeah, his son's losing it literally all over. I'm a werewolf, Dad. Oh, nah, you'll grow out of it.
No, you're not. You'll grow. It's okay. We'll get you a nice padded room.
Oh, and what are your pronouns? Oh, or, that would be the conversation today.
Says his dad ties him to a chair. That'll work. He should have had some silver chain.
Yeah, really. Should have seen this coming. Nope, I'm just
But
going
he
to
is
use the
the
weakest.
invisible man, though.
so this is definitely not him given the end. He's not believing he's a werewolf. He just believes he's so insane that he's going to endanger to himself and others. I
Yeah.
kind of think it
Yes.
is he's basically tying him up until the morning when he can be hauled away.
Well,
Yeah.
it's also supposedly to prove that he's not a werewolf. Like, if
Right,
you
we're
leave
gonna-
me here,
Oh,
everything
yeah.
Oh,
will be fine. You won't change into one or nothing.
Right. We're going to watch the moonrise together. You're just, we'll put an end to this nonsense. So I'm going to put you right here in the big giant window room. So you get a full view of it.
So you can open a window and just jump right out.
Yeah, right. Really. Because that's how we plan things in this family.
And I don't quite get this hunting platform they've built here. It's like
I don't think that would really fool anything. Maybe an armadillo or something that's in the ground mostly, but
It's like the first tree house you give your kid before you trust him to
Yeah.
climb more than 4 feet off the ground.
and of course the burning
What?
torches would give it away
Yeah.
too. So
Yes. But I mean,
They're
just
talking,
leave it up to a bunch of
no,
boys in
this
the
is
woods.
a nice tree house. Yeah, I built it for my toddler. I mean, come on. You're on a set. You can at least put some bushes around it or something.
that's
camouflage.
true.
Yeah, that's not exactly high enough to be a hunting platform or covered enough to be a blind.
Yeah, I know it's
So he tied his son to the chair so they could prove like everything's fine, and then just left.
Yeah,
right.
too. His son made him take the walking stick. Or
Oh,
the,
that's
the
right.
cane too.
All I could think about in that whole scene is, what if he's got to go pee? As soon as somebody tied me to the chair, I'd have to go
man.
pee immediately.
He's gonna get back. There's gonna be a mess. The chair's ruined. You know,
Yeah.
the chair's probably worth more than most people's houses in America at the time, and it's gonna be
Or
stained.
he's got to pee and he figures out how to untie himself, and then he turns into a werewolf. Oh man.
With it out.
Hey, Cope, I didn't even know what
That was a warning. Shoot off his
pink skates.
I know
yeah.
what that. It's from Zax's stream. Yeah, that
Oh,
was
is
great.
that some kind of
Hey,
100-day
Cope.
thing or something?
I want to know that man's lore, Copa. What did you expose me to?
Oh God. So what is it? I think he hears something, or
Can't remember.
we're growling.
it's
Larry,
the-
is that you?
It's the gypsy lady. I think.
Oh, oh yeah, he like confronts her, saying, "You put this crap in my kid's head." As he walks across a sea of fog.
That's a great shot.
Her whole cart thing is too, because it's got that curve lamp holder,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you see that all kinds of things in cartoons and things. You know, the creepy wagon and.
I mean, it works. It's a trope, but or stereotype, but it works great for that kind of mysterious mystic sort of character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she's kind of like the archetype for a lot of things that came along. All
She's
these
like-
old Universal movies are like set the rules that we see in horror movies to come. You know.
And she throws it up to him that you were going home to make sure your son wasn't a werewolf.
Oh, it was the Bud's 187 civilian Navy SEAL guy. If you haven't seen that guy's insane.
It's
God,
Get
I
into that
don't
now.
even want to know.
The fact that Copa found this guy, it makes me wonder what he's doing during the day. Like, what is he watching?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm so busy at work. I'm gonna go troll the internet for weird shit.
Yeah.
Well, that guy's got to make an appearance in his next book.
Yeah. And she's like, "Well, why were you going home? You're gonna check on your son, weren't you?" And even he's not sure that his son is a werewolf or not.
Hear him. Oh, here they are. They're
So they
not.
shoot at it a couple times.
They're super advanced hunting blind.
Yeah,
It's like
trying to
off the ground.
torches and lamps and shit.
Yeah.
Guys,
For a
quick!
werewolf.
Get up on the deck around the pool. He can't hurt us up here.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's totally like what kids play with. You know, if we're up here, we're safe. You can't touch us.
Yeah, my tree fort was much cooler than that when I was a kid. It was a lot higher.
Yeah.
These people are amateurs. They don't know what they're doing. You should fire the groundskeeper immediately.
Me and my friends built it ourselves out of like scrap pallets and whatever else we could find.
So she's out looking for him. It's like
God, is everybody in that town up
typical-
there?
typical horror movie. The girl goes walking out in the woods by herself.
Yep. Just make it easy for the guy. Just, you know. Yes.
Yes.
They did a good send up of all this.
Yeah.
You two finally met.
Mine is full of like hoof trimmers and lawnmower people and stuff like that.
So here he is. She's like,
Oh no. No! It's over.
Yeah, right.
He's gonna rip her to pieces. Oh, here comes
And
Dad.
Dad finds him.
That
Whack.
lighting.
Beat down. Oh yeah, they really knew how to place a light to show on the face.
What's up, Giggles and Bits?
Hey, people.
Anthony
buddy.
Hopkins was a kid. I don't think there are even any kids in this movie.
He would have been the age. He would have been a kid, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe in the background somewhere.
He gets bit.
Does he?
I think so. Doesn't he? On the arm? I thought he got
I
bit
don't
right
think
there.
so.
Okay.
Like, "Arr." Now I want to see a bald werewolf. Darn it!
That's the Venture Brothers, the Sasquatch. Do you see that? One
No.
episode with the $6 million man, Sasquatch. They're old ex-OSI agents. Sasquatch looks like a bald werewolf.
Oh yeah.
I beat his kid to death, and I get to see the D transformation.
What do they call that? The way they do this through the frames, they call it. Trying to think of the technique. Somebody mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, they took a picture of him, then they applied some makeup, then took another picture, and then slowly dissolved.
That's it. The dissolve
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah, the dissolve. Yeah.
Yep.
And Cheney Jr. here hated Jack Pierce when he would do the makeup. You know, the Universal Monster movie guy, because
Yeah.
of all the glue and the spirit glue and the hair and shit. It just drove Cheney nuts. I think Jack Pierce was like scared of him after a while because Cheney had a temper.
It sounds like he didn't like a lot of people.
Yeah, he had a problem. Kind of bit him in the ass in the end.
I mean, it's not his fault. He was hired to put makeup on you.
You know, makeup effects back then were just a lot of like really vaporous glues, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
you get high as hell. Or
I think even what's his name that played Gimli?
Yeah, John Rhys
he
Davies.
was-
He had bad reaction.
Yeah, bad reaction to it. His eyes would swell up and stuff, so he couldn't see very well.
oh yeah, yeah. Oh, the guy in the
Yeah, the guy that played Tin Man in Wizard of Oz. The
yeah,
first
yeah,
actor,
yeah.
They
He was
poisoned him.
electric.
The first actor he got poisoned. He had to bow out. They got a replacement because the actual paint they used had real sulfur in it, or
Yeah.
something, and it
Wow.
poisoned him. It gave him blood poisoning.
Yeah.
Damn near died from it.
Yeah, it was like, certain metals can contaminate your bloodstream.
Here, we're
Yeah,
gonna
it's
paint
kinda-
with mercury. It'll be great.
You
This
can't.
ended,
You
the way the movie ended here was very quick. They were like,
yeah.
he's a werewolf,
It's over.
and we're done.
Yeah, really. There's
Yeah.
no foreshadowing that he might come back, or it was him along. The horror of the situation of killing his own son. It was just like, and we're done. Yay.
Oh, and also, whenever she sees that he was a werewolf, she's like, "Oh well, I guess I'll go back to my fiance."
Yeah.
Right, really. I'm glad I didn't burn that bridge. I got a backup.
Well, yeah, gotta have
Later.
We gotta have a backup plan.
Have
Yeah.
fun burying your kid.
Yeah, you probably can't watch the Wizard of Oz without thinking that he almost died from that paint on him.
My
I
thing
know.
is how they did the flying monkeys. Were those like little people in suits or something?
That must have been.
You know what I
For
mean?
kids.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past them to put kids,
Yeah.
and hang them from wires and fly them
And
around.
the guards that the Wicked Witch has, those people really knew how to march.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they must have
like
been.
they were
I
really
mean,
good at it.
think at the time, I mean, a lot of guys were military, or
Yeah.
had been in World
Yeah.
War II and stuff, so
But yeah, they
they
were.
knew how to march.
Yeah, that part was kind of cool. Those guys were kind of like orcs or something, or hobgoblins or whatever.
Her guard.
the
Yeah.
flying
Something
monkeys.
like that.
Yeah, makeup effects back in the day were no joke.
No. Have you ever heard about the Radium Girls?
Yes.
they worked at a watch factory, and they put paint or radium in the paint to make it glow. It was like a glowing paint, and they would paint the surface of the watch, but then they would lick the paintbrush
Right,
to get a finer
put
tip
the
on
to
it.
get the to get a finer tip. And the guys
Yeah,
mixing the
man,
paint were
it was
wearing all this
terrible.
like protective gear, but then they were giving it to the women, and they would get radium poisoning, and it would get into their bones, and it would eat the bones away, and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
jaws would like
terrible.
get real big and inflamed, and then fall off. Basically, that's
Yeah.
okay though, because they were selling water jugs impregnated with radium in the sides that was supposed to irradiate your water to make it because it was healthy for you.
That's a
That
good
they were
idea.
selling. There were all kinds of stuff. They had an X-ray machine for your feet to
Yes.
look at your shoes, which was fine if you were
Those-
going to buy like a pair of shoes a year. But if you were the salesperson, the
Yep.
thing was
Oh
unshielded,
yeah, yeah.
so you were just getting X-rayed all day. You know,
Surprise, they all had
yeah,
cancer.
they all had tumors. Yeah.
They were stupid with it. Yeah.
Hey.
Well, you saw it. Did anyone see Oppenheimer?
I haven't seen that yet.
No.
There's a part where they're building the bomb, and they barely have any shielding. They're damn near holding this thing with their bare hands, building a nuclear bomb.
Well,
Yeah.
they
Not
didn't.
surprising, they all got cancer from it.
Right. A lot of stuff they didn't really understand.
Hmm.
And some stuff they did, but they were just kind of like, okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
after World War II, it was like 1946. There were a bunch of scientists, and this guy was showing. He was a scientist, and he was showing a bunch of dignitaries and people. What he had was two halves of a plutonium center or something, and he just had it propped up with a screwdriver, a flat tip screwdriver. And when that thing fell and it smacked down, it released a bunch of radiation, and it basically irradiated him to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was like, that was your safety measure, bro? A freaking screwdriver jammed in there?
Yeah, that's I think it's called the Demon's Core.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
the sad part is he knew by that point, when that happened, he knew he was dead. He
Oh,
already
yeah.
knew he was dead. He's like, well,
Yeah.
I'm dead or something. He made some kind of statement to it. And he lasted like a week or two, but
Because
Yeah.
in order to keep everybody else from being as irradiated, he just reached up with his bare hand and took the half off.
Yeah. He said everybody else, but he bought it.
Yeah.
It was not a nice way to go either. It was
Yeah,
like,
I was like,
Chernobyl level.
really, you had
evil.
a flat tip screwdriver jacking that thing. That'd be like having your car on like a rickety set of blocks and getting under it and like pounding on it with like a giant hammer or something.
The Wild West of science.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, late 40s, early 50s. It was.
Yeah, I went
We'll just
to
take this radioactive shit and dump it. It won't be a
I
problem.
went to Los Alamos a couple years ago when I was driving around, and I will say this though, it was one of the cleanest American cities I've ever been to. It wasn't a trash anywhere.
Oh.
There was no graffiti. There wasn't any. It was clean. The streets were clean. There weren't any junker cars all over the place. It was. The reason is that the majority of people there have PhDs, and they all work at the people that live there work at the place, and you have to have a top secret security clearance to get over there. So you can't, you know what I mean? You can't be like doing anything extracurricular.
Well, I think back in the day, you couldn't just move there. You had to be
Right.
authorized.
It was a complete military complex. Right. They had its own school and all that.
Mhm.
But now, I don't know why you'd want to move there. There's no jobs. There's literally nothing there unless you're a scientist.
Right. That probably keeps the people out.
Yep.
Well, you know that sci-fi show Eureka was kind of based on Los Alamos.
I like that show.
Or Alan
That was a
Magorda.
fun show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And having been in the military and been on other military bases, like you could see that because they had old pictures of what the place used to look like, and they just repurposed a bunch of buildings. Like their base theater is now like the community center, and I could just tell. I could look at a building and be like, that used to be a military building. That used to be a military building.
Yeah.
Done something else with. It also has a bunch of museums there too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I read something about the several times there were accidental bombs dropped. You know, one of them they found the bomb, and the guy digging the hole came to the guy that was in charge of it and said, "Oh, we found the safety." And it's like, "Oh, that's good."
Yeah.
It's like, and the guy says, "It's off." It's not off.
Oh, that's not good. We should, yeah.
It takes a lot more to detonate a nuclear device than people think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes
Because
a lot.
even if you blow it up in place, if the sequencers are damaged, it won't actually make a nuclear explosion because they have
You
to
just gotta, yeah.
the explosion has
Yeah.
to compress it all at one time. So if you only hit one side and it's out of sequence, it'll blow it up and it'll throw fissile material all over the place and you'll
Yeah,
have a
dirty bomb.
radioactive- Yeah, mess, but
Yeah.
it won't actually be a nuclear explosion.
It's like, yeah, this is about the Wolfman, but we're talking about nuclear bombs and radiation.
Yeah, they go together.
They're connected.
That's
They're
how you
connected.
transform.
Yeah.
Well, we started talking about other movies and stuff, but this movie is it's the start of the actual monster series, right?
Yeah, in the 40s especially, they brought all the old ones
Yeah,
back,
it's really picked up. Yeah.
and they started having the werewolf meet the Frankenstein, and
Right.
Yeah.
eventually Dracula, son of Dracula, was in
Scooby Doo.
there. Yeah, that would come later.
Then
I don't know,
there's the
probably, out
Monster
of all of
Squad
those,
somewhere in there.
I probably like the Mummy one the best.
I like they're like an hour long, and it's just the same movie all the time with a different title.
Right.
Hand of the Mummy, Ghost of the Mummy.
I'm talking about
whatever.
the OG one from the 30s or whatever.
I like that too, but
Yeah.
the 40 ones, it's funny because you can tell it's just him, and you can see his hair and his hairline. You can tell they just put gunk in his hair to make it look like, you know, they didn't even wrap his head at all with mummy bandages. It's just, you know,
Yeah.
and it's literally the same plot all the time. Somebody from Egypt comes over to collect them. They bring over this ultra rare tannis leaf that they seem to have like a warehouse full of from an endangered, you know, from an extinct plant. They got a lot of, you know, supply. They're starting to get him back. You know, they have to dig him out of whatever hole he was buried in. And then for some reason, the Egyptian guy gets the hots for the woman that Karis wants.
Yeah.
And it causes a conflict. You think they'll get smart and send a gay guy over. And no problem. It's like, okay, I got Karis. Let's box him up. Let's go. I got no time for you, honey. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are all coming up. Next week is the Invisible Man. So that'll be fun. And then the Mummy.
Yeah. That'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of those are things that I also had. All of the classic monster movies are just something that I never watched. So even though I at least don't think I'm any of those panels, I'm going to try to watch them anyway, because why not have an excuse just to revisit some classics?
The other
And
thing
they're
about,
only an hour long, too.
right. The other thing about a lot of these
They're
movies
easy watches.
is for me, it's the nostalgia thing. Like a lot of them I saw like on a Saturday afternoon in the summertime in the 70s, like on PBS or something, public broadcasting service, you know, eaten with like a TV dinner
Corey,
tray.
the original Mummy movie. Corey.
Oh, The Mummy with Brandon Fraser. Actually, I really like that one. The second one's okay.
Yeah.
The third one's garbage. But you know, there are reasons why I like the first one. You know, there's on the little river boat. That's got some good scenes in there.
Yeah.
What they
Yeah,
have that
those are-
cool
those
fight
are good
scene
too.
with and the boat catches on fire.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very
that was
exciting.
good. That's a good part. I like when he tells the guy, "Stay here. I'm gonna go get help," and just jumps overboard.
That movie has a lot of good things. Like when he's at the prison, and they were like, "What's he in? Well, you know, why are you gonna? What did he do? What's he in here?" He said, "Oh, he was just looking to have a good time." And then he's like, "All right, they're gonna hang him." And they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Well, apparently he had a really good time."
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, I've had some nights like that when I was out with my friend.
Well, guys, thanks. Well, guys, thanks for coming on and talking about this movie, and
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah, it's
Thanks
always
for
fun.
having me. It was
Yeah,
enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let
Yep.
me show
Also,
these.
there we
Oh, the green screen. Ah!
Oh, I used to use the
No.
moon.
Here, let me
Yeah,
get rid of
see
the
the
moon.
movie.
Yeah.
Let me go off. There we go.
Back in his bunker.
So these are some DVDs that came out years ago where it was all the collection.
Right.
And these are all the
Right.
Wolfman movies. These are all the Mummy movies, the original plus the remakes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Frankenstein, the Creature movies, and Invisible Man. There are a bunch of different Invisible Man movies, too. And, of course, Abbott and Costello met all of these people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, made their own movies. And that's what eventually killed the Universal Monster movies, was when they were in a comedy. Nobody could take them seriously anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what killed it.
And then they
Yeah.
tried to do a reboot of the monster movies
Oh, with
With,
Tom Cruise.
with Tom Cruise.
Oh, that was such
Yeah.
a garbage
That was
movie.
God.
Terrible. That was like
Yeah.
the Marvel's Dark Phoenix or whatever levels of cringe.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah,
And
that
then,
was
and
horrible.
then Tom Cruise winds up with the mummy's powers.
He was the devil or something, wasn't he?
And
was
it had that
set.
over the top. I'm going to hang on the outside of an airplane while it's coming
Yeah,
apart.
that was good.
Nonsense.
And there's
yeah.
in the plane crash, there's a picture of Javier Bardem's head because he was going to be Frankenstein. That's where that Frankenstein was going to come from that.
Mm.
And then he meets. What's that?
I was going to say the 1999 Mummy movie is so much better than that one. It can't even express to you how much better that movie is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's funny because Universal
I've reviewed
did
that
the
movie, so
Oh yeah, yeah. And the Universal people, they did the original universe. They had the Frankenstein and Dracula and werewolf people meet and interact.
yeah.
So you think if somebody could do it, it would be them. But no, they screwed it up good.
Yeah.
But if you look at the Hammer horror movies, they're just remakes of the Universal. But in color with blood.
Yeah.
They did the Mummy, they did Dracula, they did Frankenstein. They had a whole bunch. They only did one werewolf movie, which is funny. It had Oliver Reed. I think it's one of his first acting roles. He played the werewolf. But yeah, they did tons of Dracula and Frankenstein movies. But in the Frankenstein movies, for them, it wasn't the monster. It was actually Dr. Frankenstein was the worst one. And he kept appearing in all the movies with different monsters he made.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess it's easier to do those two because you don't have to put so much prosthetics on them.
Yeah, like a werewolf or a mummy thing.
Yeah.
Even Robert De Niro played the monster in a Frankenstein movie.
That was a crap movie.
Yeah,
it was bad.
That was terrible.
Yeah, the 90s they redid. So they had Coppola's Dracula, and then they had Branagh's Frankenstein. They did the Mummy, of course, with the Brendan Fraser in them, but that was the best of all. I liked Coppola's Dracula. It was way over the top, but
I don't think I ever saw that one.
It's really good. You should watch it.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah,
guys,
this has been a great chat.
Yeah. I kind of was like, this movie's kind of dull a little bit, but it was okay. It was a good one to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, it is kind of a slow burn, but you can't just introduce somebody and then have them turn into a werewolf without kind of getting to know them a little bit and try to sympathize with them.
Yeah.
And I mean, had they gone, it is a weird setup, but had they gone with he was just there to install the telescope thing, it would have made the ending way worse. There would have been no meaning for the fact that he beat this guy to death. It was
Mhm.
better
Yeah.
that it was
Mhm.
his son, but it still makes very little sense, especially with the accents and such. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
overall, enjoyable.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They were. Well, yep. Thanks, guys, for coming on. This was fun.
All right,
And,
awesome.
Anybody got to plug anything? Anybody want to plug anything?
I'm going to be Thursday with Rome of the Empire at 5 Pacific. We're going to be doing episode 8 of Ahsoka
Last one,
review.
finally.
Last one. Yeah.
Better you than me, buddy.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. Also, I'm still I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that whole Loki thing. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I just don't know if I'm going to be available with timing and stuff, but so we'll see. Hopefully it's not going to be bad, but
Yeah. It,
hey, what's
it
up,
probably will.
Gadfly? Oh, I know it
Gadfly.
will be. I'm just ever the optimist for certain things. I'm usually pessimistic about everything, but I'm just hoping, one day they'll come to their senses and actually make something good. I got surprised by House of the Dragon, so.
Yeah. How about you,
Yeah.
Beard? What do you got?
Well, I'll also be there with you guys on Thursday with Roman of the Empire, and then on Saturday, I'll be over with Nerdy Neo, aka Broba Fett. If I have the time right, it's 1:30 Central for kind of general video game chat. So I'm branching out from movies into video games, which oddly enough is a topic I'm much more comfortable with.
Cool.
So if there are any changes on that, if anybody or anything else that comes up, people can always follow me on X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Beard of Liberty, and
X Twitter.
there it is. Yeah.
Awesome.
How about you, Blair?
I'm going to be on a couple more of these shows, talking about Universal horror monsters, and
Right.
yeah. Woo.
So yeah, I've got Saturday. It's the only non-horror topic I've got for October. It's going to be talk about John Ford movies.
Yeah, another man,
That'll be
great
good.
director.
And then next Tuesday is The Invisible Man. So that'll be a fun one too.
All right.
That one is more entertaining to me than this one.
There's a lot more action.
Yeah. So that's what I've got going. And
Cool.
Yep. So thank y'all for coming on, and thanks to the chat for hanging with us, and we'll see y'all next week. And be sure, if you find a brown shirt in your clothes, you might be a werewolf.
Yeah.
Later, y'all.
Good night.
Yep. Have a good one, everybody.